You got disconnected from my side. I changed my Wi-Fi.
Oh.
Because
Is the pace of my talking is clear and audible to you? Because like Indians sometimes tend to talk faster, and it might feel like we are eating words. So
I am used to work with Indian support, so
okay, I'm talking very slow then. And I'll switch over to my regular accent. That's amazing. Thanks. Thank you. I am Krishnan Srinivasan, a fine art photographer, a distance skater, coming from India, and the place where I live in is called Srirangam. It's in River Island, and I'm interviewing one Mr. Jendrossek. He is a very renowned skater, long distance skater, and he is conducting Misfits marathon, and he has very generously agreed to be on this interview, and he was on time. He was so honoring and respecting my invite. So we all have Mr. Jendrossek here, and sir, please tell a few words about yourself.
yes, hello. My name is Jendrossek. I live in the Netherlands. I've been skateboarding since I think when I was a kid. I started around 7 or 8 years old, just doing some books around the house. And I think when I was in my teens, I started to do more intensive skateboarding, street skateboarding mostly, also some half pipes and park skating. And with breaks in between, I've been skating until now. A couple of years ago, after my divorce, I picked up long distance skateboarding. At first, I tried to do as much as possible, and then I went to see the Dutch ultra skate, and I took a lot of pictures. And from there, I got a lot of interaction with people. That's also how I met Panta. We actually met for my photography, and I started to do ultra skates as well. And at some point we decided, okay, maybe we should go to Miami because there's an ultra skate, and I always wanted to go to Miami somehow, and this was my chance to go there.
Oh.
So that's how we came together as the group that's now Misfits. It started out from just a travel plan and getting accommodation, and we were like, okay, let's do something more. So we started Misfits, so to say, and from there, we decided to organize a race. So we started to do the Misfits Marathon, and that's where we are today. And we try to invite a lot of people to our event, and it's starting to grow.
This is amazing. I actually started my skating at the age 37 only, and I came to LDP in a next couple of years actually. But it's glad to see like your interest in skateboarding, and I could understand from your Instagram profile that the Misfits trophies came from your skateboarding interest, I believe. Yeah, you were making it by hand all yourself. That was amazing.
Yes, the skate trophies are actually kid-size skateboards, and they are really terrible to skate on. So basically, we save a lot of children from having a bad impact on skateboarding. And I just cut them in half, and I will put a design on it. Every year it changes a bit. It just comes with the flow, so to say, and that's how we decided, okay, we will have this trophy. Since last year we also have a cup, so the winner can hold the cup here, put all the names on there, so you can see who has proudly won our race. So every time we try to improve little things here and there. We come up with an idea, and we change the logo sometimes. So this year we also had a new logo, and we make T-shirts sometimes.
Oh, that's amazing.
Stickers, of course. All the things to make it skateboarding.
Oh, that's amazing. I understand from your Instagram profile you have varied interest, and it's really inspiring as well. Photography, skateboarding, Linux, and a lot of things. Like, how do you keep up yourself, occupied, being a very responsible parent. I could understand your bonding with your son, and how could you allot your time to skateboarding and your work life and everything? How do you manage all these things? And tell me about a little bit of your varied interests as well.
Yeah, a lot of these things come in cycles. So I think in the winter I will be spending more time on gaming and Linux and keeping up my stuff. It's actually my daily work, so I'm occupied with it every day.
Oh, that's amazing.
But it also came from a hobby. I've been to school to be trained as a cook, so I can run a restaurant. But
that's amazing.
Well, it's good to be able to make your food, but I'm not the type of running a restaurant. I always liked computers, and when I was small, it was hard to get one. They were expensive, so my access to computers was very limited. I did some programming in school, but later on I decided, okay, I think I have some skills with this, and let's make this my new life. So I sold my house, moved to started a new career.
Wow.
And later on I became a dad as well. To balance it is sometimes I work for a couple of hours and then I'm fed up, or I'm really concerned with some things. I need to clear up my head and just take my board and run around the block a bit, or go to the supermarket. So that's how I do the daily rides. And also, yes, since my son have been growing up, I started to be more interested in gaming. I always liked, but I always try to keep from it because I know it will consume my time, and I really have to put my alarm clock to make sure that I will go to bed in time when I'm playing my game. So that's a bit of a challenge.
Okay.
So yeah, all those things you see on my Instagram and maybe also my Facebook is just what I do and what I like, and I'm happy to do all the things I like, also for my my occupation, and also photography. It's a hobby.
Yes.
Sometimes some things come up, and then other things get less attention. That's basically how it cycles, and I try to stick to that. So.
Oh, that's amazing, sir. I myself, when I started photography, I was into Linux a little bit for 1.5 years. That was my very brief time on Linux, and I'm amazed to see you use Linux for photography. Like, what kind of apps you really use it, like for photography, editing images?
I use just the basic stuff. I use GIMP. There's a photo editor. I cannot remember the name, but I use it a lot. But for editing, I really try to reduce it as much as possible. I just take the photo I take, and that's it. Sometimes I do some color correction, but that's about it. I try to minimize it as much. I did analog photography for a long time.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I that's the way how I started, and I really like the process because you have to make the picture in your mind,
exactly.
And just in the end you will the results, and often you've just forgot, okay, I was thinking about the light or the composition, but it's just I go for the composition, that's number one, and then the scenery and setting is also contributing to the image, but I try to keep the editing as little as possible. It has to come from the eye, and that's the strongest part, I think.
Oh, that's amazing. That's more like a journalistic point of view. That's amazing. And how do you combine both your interest photography and your long distance skating?
Sometimes I just bring my camera. I bring my camera along when I go out, but when I go skating, most of my pictures will come from my camera on my phone.
Oh,
and if when I do my marathon, I also do the photography. I take my lenses and try to get image shots of every individual rider.
Wow.
But time consuming, you have to do a lot of things in the same time. You have to make sure that the race is running, time is accurate, people all are wearing their bibs and so it's quite a challenge, but after 6 years we are now on the pace to have a good control and keep the oversight. after 2 years, I also started to work together with a first aid team, and we have a professional timing guy now. With the first couple of times we did it ourselves.
That's amazing.
And then we decided, okay, let's get an expert here because this is really complex. And even then, we get into discussions like, yeah, okay, but are you sure I get all my labs? And
that's amazing.
Yeah,
nice. So how do you know about Mr. Panta Gruelon? Like you guys skate together with Masters team in Dutch Ultra Skate, I understand. And
yes, I met him from the Dutch Ultra Skate, and then we connected over Facebook, and then we found out he's also into computers a lot. We share a lot of the same interests. So then the next year he asked me like, okay, can I stay at your place, because I also live quite near to the track, so that's also helpful. So most of the Misfits guys, they come here if they want to participate in the race. We have another guy who lives in Miami. There's a guy living in Singapore. There's also 2 Dutch girls. One of them studies in Germany. So we are spread out over the whole world.
You are the core organizers of Misfits.
Yes. I started it with Panta, so to say. So I think we are more or less doing most of the things in the background. And then I have also who joined us after 2 or 3 years, and he's mostly also involved with helping out the Misfits Marathon. And also Saskia and Daniela help me out. So it's a team effort. And then we mostly meet at the old skates either here in Spaandam or the one in Miami.
Oh, that's amazing. Who came up with the idea for the Misfits? Like how it formed, the entire Misfits marathon race idea?
We started it because we noticed that the in general the endurance of the events were increasing. So where we used to have a lot of 3 and 6 hour races, it started to evolve into a longer race and ultra skate. So for people who just made the debut into LDP, it was a bit difficult because the distance were too long, or they were a bit scared off by, okay, I have to do this for 6 hours. That's what we practice for the 24. So that it's a bit intimidating, I guess. And we were more like, we would like to have a smaller race, because for marathon it's easy for people who just start, and it will be easy to attract a new people. We found the track by accident when we were skating in Breda, and the guy who was maintaining the place invited us, and he just asked, okay, do a few laps and then we can talk about what's possible here. So that's how we connected there. And from there we just decided, okay, this place feels good, and I think they should just try it. And that's how it started, basically.
Everything fell in place, like when your idea, you formed the idea and you just started talking and you found the place for the race and everything. That's amazing. Yeah. Beautiful. So if an international distance skater enthusiast have wanted to participate in Misfit, so can you brief about Misfit for that person?
Sorry, once again.
Can you talk elaborately about the Misfits Marathon, in the sense like who are the participants, what they can expect, like what?
Yes. I checked the statistics. Our youngest participant was 11, and our oldest in the last race is about 63 or 64. So it's a wide range of ages. In average, I think 10 to 20% of the people participating are new, are making their debut into LDP. We also allowed kids to under 18 category to join in. So we also see kids in the age of 11 and 12 joining. A lot of people are internationally racing, and they also participate in events in other countries. this weekend there's a race in Germany, and I know some people who have been present at the Misfits Marathon last week are now participating in this race in Germany. There's some other races in Italy also, and smaller races in France, and it's more or less the same crowd that goes to all those places. They try to win them, of course, all, and then in the end there's an international competition, so all the points are added to the classification, and then we have an all-over winner in a category.
Skate IDSA? Is that the...
Yeah, that's from the IDSA.
Okay.
So we are sanctioned by the IDSA, and we report our statistics to the IDSA.
That's amazing.
And then it will be combined into an international classification. And that's what we did from the start. It was really my goal to have an international race and also make it count for the point system, because then it really would have this competition part. But on the same side, it would also allow new people to see this and to meet all the people and who are they and what wheels do they have and bushings and people to talk about this stuff, but also see it. So yeah, that's what we really like to offer.
That's
and
amazing.
Also giving back to the community what we get. For me personally, I get a lot from long distance skateboarding and other people as well. So we try to give something back, and this is the thing we like. So we do it in the best way. We would like to have it ourselves as well.
That's a beautiful thought. That's a beautiful thought. So what would be the rules for Misfits? Like, do I have to? Please.
Yeah, you have to have a helmet.
Yes.
Because it's one bottom line: no helmet is no race.
Okay.
Last weekend was the first time I had to send the guy to a sports shop to buy a helmet. So normally I would take some spare ones, but we never have used them. So I was thinking, okay, we don't need those, but actually. But the one time you leave it at home, you need one. So helmet is one. Okay. You need a good deck of course. You are allowed to skate on everything, but I think it's best if you have a safe and good LDP setup. A bottle of water, and that's the basic thing you need. If you are under 18, you need someone to accompany you, and from there it's just you are able to join in.
That's amazing. So it's like, what is the maximum wheel size you allow in Misfits Marathon?
There's no maximum wheel size. If you want to skate with 110 millimeters, you're free to do that.
That's amazing. That's mine.
There's no limit.
That's amazing.
No, that's okay, as long as you are not on an electric scooter, skateboard, longboard, or whatever. That's it. We only allow people on longboards, so no inlines. Perhaps we could allow a quad skater, but we've never seen those. So that's basically it. We have a rule of not allowing support on the track with a bike, because some people like to be supported with a bike, but our track is very curvy, so we think that's a bit too dangerous. So we keep it safe and just keep cyclists off the track.
Okay, so if I have to bring in a custom LDP board that I designed for myself, so is it okay to bring it to Misfits Marathon?
I think so. Only I'm not. There is some limitation that it should be commercially available.
Okay.
No, everyone should be able to buy this piece of equipment in a shop.
Okay.
And I think that's coming from the IDSA. I've seen this in a competition list.
Okay. Yeah. So do I have to present any medical certificate that I'm fit to race and everything?
No.
That's amazing.
For us, I think everyone should be in charge of their own health and be able to have an idea. Okay, can I do this or not? We do have first aid guys. So if you
that's amazing. You'll be having first aid guys in the fields.
Yes, or if you get a heat stroke, that might happen, because we had a very warm race the last time. Those things can happen. Then we have guys to support you.
That's great thought. That's great thought. That's a great thought. happened to see a few people in Dutch ultra skate skating a very long board, as in like a pretty long board, like you can imagine like 50 inches or more, So
Yes, handboards are allowed. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
I
you
think
do
you're
allow.
referring to a handboard.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, if
partly.
people would bring a handboard, you can do that. I think it would be a bit annoying with all those curves, but you can try. Go ahead. Why not?
It's your
As long
board,
as you
yeah.
keep, as long as you keep it safe for other people,
Oh,
then
yeah.
it's fine with me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So SUP is also fine. Like SSUP.
Oh yes, we had one guy in the SUP category.
Yeah. So that was amazing. I saw your Instagram video. You're using a Kong dog toy to do a manual. I mean, like custom made paddle for you itself.
Yeah,
that was amazing. That's a great.
Yeah, it's readily available. You can just get it from the pet shop. So it's easy. You take a bamboo stick, and you have a pedal. So actually, give the way to a guy who was skating around the world, Adrian. So he took it from me, and I think he.
Oh, that was
used
for
it
Adrian.
until,
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah, he used it until he was in Spain, and then either he lost it or he broke the stick. I cannot remember, but yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And he took a bamboo. I have bamboo in my garden, so we just chopped the bamboo pole and said, "Okay, this will fit. Here you go." So he was really happy.
Oh,
He
that's
didn't
amazing.
expect it, but
Yeah, Adrian is my great inspiration as well. He traveled the world in longboard, so he was great inspiration to me actually. So that's amazing. That's amazing. So how do you know Adrian then?
From Ultraskate. I think the first time was also I met him here at the Dutch Ultraskate, and then I met him in Miami, and then the next time when he was traveling around the world, I just told him, okay, just drop by when you are here, and then we made it a leg to the eastern part of Netherlands, because from here he was going to Germany. So I think I joined him for 120-kilometer ride.
That's amazing. You ride it along.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Must have been a great experience for you. That's
Yeah, it was really nice. Saskia was also there,
Oh,
and there was another guy on a bike from Singapore. He was joining in also. So we were with 4 people, and then we took the journey to go to Deventer. Yeah.
that's amazing. So, just give me a second. I have to grab a question. Talking to you keeps me like going blank, and so interesting topics are popping up, and I got to stick to the script sometimes.
Yes.
So, how was the 2022 Misfits Marathon different from the older versions of the Misfits Marathon?
The weather was really perfect. We used to have a lot of rain in the first couple of editions. I think there used to be a lot of MTB lines. I cannot really explain it, but there used to be a lot of lines to draw a second circuit on the track, so to say, for mountain bikes, and it was really visually it was really disturbing. So for taking pictures, it was really a drama. I couldn't get a clear shot. It looked really bad, and that was a lot better. We did not have a canteen because they did not have volunteers to open it, so we had to do everything by ourselves. We brought some beers, and that was okay. I think that was where it was different from the times before.
Oh, that's nice. So, as in like with the Misfits Marathon 2022, is this the first time you introduced that microchip wherein you track the laps of people, or like you had that technology available even for previous Misfits?
The first 2 or 3 times we also worked with a chip. We used MyLabs, but the system was a bit how to say challenging us, and it was a little bit too much to organize. Then COVID came, and Paul could not join in, so I decided to find someone who did the timing. I ran into a guy and just asked him, okay, could you do this for a longboard marathon? And he said, oh yeah, well, I have an idea. So we tried that out, and then he had a different chip and a different timing system. The first time it was actually a drama because his sensors also registered the people on the other side, because we have opposing lanes.
Track.
So
Yeah.
within 10 minutes it was a big mess. But then it showed the extra value of having an expert, because within the race he could fix everything, and in the end there was still a little bit of debate because it was not exactly perfect, because it's new. So, but the second year he really improved, and this year he also brought a new system, and we had sensors on the top of our helmet, so that was really better. And now we can also present the results online, because our system from my labs was limiting us from that. So we had people on the track asking how many laps. I had people on Facebook, what's going on, can you stream? So it really became too complicated, and that's why we now stick the timing guy from Belgium, who does a wonderful job. And okay, we have to spend some budget on it, but it saves us from all this stress, and we can actually enjoy and talk to everyone, because this was keeping us from having interaction with people. So I decided, okay, for us it should be a fun day, and not just have this stress about the results and everything going well. And so you grow with the event, and then for the next year you know what to improve and what to change.
You build things better every time. That's amazing. So
yeah, exactly.
So one lap of a Misfits marathon amounts to what amount of kilometer?
From the top of my head, it's about 1.5 kilometers. So it's just less than a mile.
So that's how it's add up to like 42 kilometers or so.
You need 28 laps to do the whole marathon.
That's amazing. Do you do half marathon of it? No, or it's just 42?
No,
it's 42.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
First time we did it in 4 hours. So that turned out to be too much time, because some people were taking a break, and then in the end everyone was waiting for those two guys to finish. It was like, okay, we will stick to 3 hours. Everyone who does a decent bit skateboarding should be able to finish that.
That's amazing. So you mean 3 hours as in like from start to the end celebration, as in distributing the trophies and closing? And
we start at 1. We start at 1, we finish at 4, and then we try to do the ceremony in 15 minutes, or just how much time it takes to get everyone off the track at the timing final, because there's always some check you have to do, and then we start with that. We also get some sponsoring from Domino's, so we always try to
that's nice.
Finish with the pizzas, and then we do a raffle of all the sponsors stuff we get sponsored. Okay. So that's how we end the event. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a 28 lap delivery from Domino's under 30 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Everyone goes home tired and happy.
That's nice. That's nice. So I was following the live, the race thing. Results from your Craftsman company, which were who were tracking it. I was able to find few categories, as in like women, men, and a few kids. That's amazing. So do you plan to include other genders into your race as well?
I've got this request. Okay. There are. I checked this with the IDSA regulation we work with. There's a section in there that clearly describes how to be LGBTQ. Yes. And how to register. So that's described there. Only we had a request from someone who wanted to be registered as non-binary, and until now that's not being set in place. So just checked, okay, how should we do this, but we couldn't get a clear answer on it. But that's about it. We are open to that. There's no problem. Just in the end, you have to present the results, and if there is no category in the umbrella organization for that, then it gets a bit complicated.
Okay, it's nice to be very inclusive. That's amazing. So as I understand, there is a fee to be a member of Skate IDSA, And
Yep.
since you have a few expenses to cover to conduct Misfits Marathon, do you have any entry fee for Misfits Marathon?
Yes, yes. So entry fee is 30 euros.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a little price reduction if people are a member of IDSA.
Mm-hmm.
For kids, we might in the future also do a different rate because we want everyone to be able to participate.
Okay.
So yes, that covers our race. All the most of our budget comes from the raffle. Mostly for the track and the timing and the first aid. That most of the money we get in, and then the extras are coming from the raffle.
That's amazing. So, if a participant is coming to Misfits Marathon, do they have to, hire that chip, like as in a Dutch Ultra Skate, like pay a token fee of a few dollars and use it and return it back? Okay.
Yes, we do the same system.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And do you find participants coming from the third world countries, as in like the eastern side of the world?
We have one guy who came from Sri Lanka, but I think he's living in Germany. We had participants from Lithuania, Italy, Poland, UK, Germany, Belgium, France. So it's small. It's a small event, but we are truly international.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So you have any plans to include people to skate with groups, as in like a few members, as in masters, as you skated in Dutch Ultra Skate?
Could be possible, but we actually never had the request to do that.
Okay.
I think the team effort is mostly in the ultra skate, and
since being a marathon, I
never had the request to do that.
Yes,
so, but
under 3 hour race.
Yeah. Why not? It could be a new record even.
Or relay type.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm sure if there's a relay on the marathon ever been done. Yeah,
I just came in the flow. I did not think about
maybe
it.
we are inspiring people now. So
that's fine. Definitely. So, what is your board? Tell me about your LDP board that you use.
I have a bracket board. I also have a couple of top mounts. Usually when I go to an event, I take a top mount and I take a bracket board, because sometimes if the weather turns bad and I just want to push, I want to have a top mount. We are outside. I could have shown you my collection, which is just on the wall in my living room.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, the participants in Misfits Marathon, like, do they can pump and push, and or is there any rules like SUP people cannot push, and or the people who are pumping cannot push, or people who are pushing have to do only pushing, or something like that, or like you can combine tricks?
You can combine. We don't have a separate category for stand-up paddle. If you stand up and pump, you should not be pushing, of course. The guy who was doing the sub was actually pumping all the time, so he stick to the tradition.
That's
but
nice.
I think in general there's a little bit separation in if you are pushing and just pumping on it. It's getting too complicated to monitor people during the race if they actually stick to that. But we only have one guy who participated in this category, and I stick to a rule that I need at least 4 people to form a category, because I don't give a podium for free, so to say. It has to be a struggle to get it, so at least 4 people we need in a category. And if I would have 4 paddlers, then it would be a race for paddlers as well.
That's
and now we combine it into the male or the female masters category.
So, do you? I mean, like, I understand from the referral list which Mr. Panta gave it to me before the interview. You know, like, I understand Mr. Paul De Beer is in your closest circle. So, is he one of your responses for Misfits Marathon?
So you got.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, is Mr. Paul De Beer, the Beer Nuts Skates owner, is he part of Misfits crew, or like is he the sponsor?
Yes. Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
he joined in. I think in our third year we also joined Paul into our ranks. So, yep.
That's great. That's great. So what is the future plan that you have for Misfits Marathon?
One of my not really goals, but I'd like to see 50 people start at the race. We are really getting close to that point.
That's great.
I think if we would have everyone who ever participated there, we would be close to 100 people, I think. So yeah, that's something I would like to see in the future, and we are having some ideas of maybe having a second race. For 3 years we tried to do a pump track race because the place where we stay for our camping during the marathon, there's a pump track, and we were thinking about having a race there. I think I had maybe 8 or 10 people just taking a look and trying it, but it was not enough to have a second location. So next year we will probably do that again, because this year I had to skip it. But that's mostly the plans we have. Maybe help out with other races. There were some races in the past that have now been stopped. So I talked to this guy like, okay, I'd like to help you and just organize your race. I will be there to help you out. And we need more small events so the community gets lively up again, because after the COVID this all stopped a bit, and I noticed that those things are not coming back, and we need those as well.
So you had about 48 participants, am I right, for this 2022 Misfits?
No,
probably, yeah, that's what's close to 50, right? So
yes, that would be nice.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
like just like Dutch Ultra Skate, you're going to expand to 100 participants in the near future. That's
the Dutch Ultra Skate, I think they ran into the point that it was getting a lot of people. So I think it was sold out within a couple of hours already. So there was a lot of people who wanted to participate. I'm not sure we will run into this issue. If we would have more demand, then we might think of, okay, maybe we should split it up a bit, or maybe make an extra race, or just a sprint race. That could also be an idea. So those things that I was thinking of. Yeah,
that's amazing. So, and what would you like to tell it to your audience who will be watching this interview, as an final note, because like we are at the last end of this interview. So what would you like to communicate to your people, like the fellow long distance skaters?
Yeah, go out and skate and enjoy it, and if you feel bad, pick your board and go around the block, and you will have a better day.
Absolutely, that's amazing. So it was excellent to talk to you, and thanks for honoring me, my invite and everything. And and you need to give me some time to edit this video and put it up online, because I'll be adding your name and titles and all those things. And as from this part of the world, I'm so honored to have you in this interview. This is amazing. You have initiated something new for me, actually, and for my YouTube channel, wherein like I never had some accomplished people who had so much experience in the skating community. It was really absolute honor. Thank you. This is the Indian way of thanking you. Vanakkam in my language. Thank you so much.
Too.
So to the little master there, are you interested in long distance skating as well?
Yeah, he's asking you a question if you are interested in long distance skating as well. He's always the guy who is firing off the race. This year he couldn't come, but he's my starting guy. So yes, he's also part of the event. Until now, he likes buttboarding a lot. He's still a bit scared to stand up, but we will see where it goes. If he likes something else to do, it's his choice. I'm not forcing anyone to skate, but if he would do it, it would be perfect. I think likes downhill a bit more than LDP, but we will see what comes in the future.
That's a great thought. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on this interview as well, Little Master.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you, sir. That comes to our end. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
I will. We're making food now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Best wishes.
Bye.
Yep. Bye. So this is the thank you note to Mr. Panta Gruelon, otherwise known as Fabian Bagland. He was the key person in making this interview happen. He spoke to Mr. Jendrossek Sip and arranged this interview with me. So thank you so much, sir. Nandri, thank you so much. And yep, this is the thank you from the entire long distance skating community. Thank you again.
Connection itself?
Yes, probably. It might be funny, but my Wi-Fi is still 2.4 gigahertz. I haven't changed it because my router allows me to have MAC address filtering. That's why. And there might be 6 or more devices connected to the same Wi-Fi. It's probably because of that. I try to. I have the questions on my desktop, so that machine is also on the Wi-Fi. It's probably because of that.
Usually what I do is everything that needs a lot of bandwidth, I will just connect it by cable, and all the other devices, it's okay for Wi-Fi, but
it's
I try to limit it as much as possible.
Very true.
So I also switch off my phone from the Wi-Fi because it's also taking out of the connection, so that's off.
Very true. Yes. I did so. Thanks for the idea. Yes.
My son is. My son is playing a game, so he's also on the Wi-Fi. So it all eats a bit of bandwidth.
That's understood. That's totally understood.
Yeah, but if for video, it's more noticeable. You download the web page, then sometimes 1 or 2 seconds it might happen, but it doesn't disturb the actual thing you're trying to do. So but with video recording, it's always a challenge.
Definitely it is. Definitely it is. I understand. So I'm just going to give you a very formal introduction, as in